Welcome to Professor Skye's Record Review, the only first listen new music review show hosted by a French professor immediately after leaving the gym. It's the 231st episode, and it is a weird one. You see, usually I review only new music that's less than a week old. But as you can tell from the video, from the title, I'm going to be reviewing an album by My Chemical Romance. And the reasons why I'm doing this are a little bit strange. You see, I'm a father. I'm a very fatherly father. I like to get into all the things that my kids like. I pay a lot of attention to everything that they do. And our house is drenched in music all the time. And my older son, he's 14, he very much just kind of follows along in my footsteps. Radiohead and Zeppelin and the Smiths and Daft Punk and all that stuff, right? And my daughter, who's 12, likes that too. But a couple of years ago, she started doing what I call preteen musical differentiation. She had to find music that I didn't know about and that I didn't like. And she had to apply the same kind of passion that we all have about music towards something that we didn't know about. Now, I lucked out, right? She didn't go into like Billy Joel or something. She got into the bands that are often associated with mall goths or other such weird misogynist, sexist terms that have been created in the last couple of years. She got into, in particular, Panic at the Disco, and most of all, her favorite band in the whole world, My Chemical Romance. So I was all happy. I'm like, all right, my daughter, she's getting into music. This is great. Okay, dear, why don't you play me some of her music? No. Oh, but can we I just want to hear what you're listening to. No. Dad, no. Matter of fact, Dad, you can't listen to this music at all. I forbid you completely from listening to this music ever. Don't make it a thing. Don't make it your thing. You see, usually if she plays some band that she likes, like she liked the Imagine Dragons, and so I bought her the album, and then I learned how to play Believer on guitar, and then I was playing it in the living room, and there's something about that, and this is kind of a deeper point. If you're just here to see a My Chemical Romance review, I'm going to actually drop some weird philosophy and psychology on you. In a way, I was taking something away from her. I was trying to give her something, but I made it about me and took it away from her. So as a father, that's something that I struggle with, because I'm just I'm not overbearing, but I'm a very enthusiastic person. So that meant that I couldn't listen to either of these two bands. Fortunately for me, the Panic at the Disco concert was in January 2019. So she needed someone to take her. I could take her, which meant I got to listen to Panic at the Disco. If you want to watch my video, it's up there. I don't know where the thing pops up. It's somewhere up there. So I got to learn about Panic at the Disco. I liked them quite a bit. Good pop band, okay. But still, it was no on My Chemical Romance. And mind you, I'm a super chill, awesome dad, Like, not only would I go to Hot Topic and get her the My Chemical Romance shirt, not only did I go to the record archive and buy her this super sweet 10th anniversary giant poster, Like, I got her the Greatest Hits album that came with an armband. I got her, the CDs and I got her the vinyl, and I did it all without ever listening to it. I even got her the special picture disc of the album we're going to be reviewing today, The Black Parade. But in all this time, all these years, I've never listened to them. I've heard two songs. One, their cover of Desolation Row, which was good. Pretty weird song to cover, actually. It's like a very long song. I admire the dedication of all the Dylan songs to cover. That shows something good. And then I got the chance somehow, there's some other YouTube video, and I got to hear the song Black Parade. So, My Chemical Romance has gotten back together. They are touring. They sent out some kind of weird hieroglyph or something. I don't know what. Maybe they're going to be touring in America. Maybe they're not. But I told my daughter, I have to know their music. I will buy you tickets. I will drive you within a 500-mile radius to see them in concert. But I have to listen to at least the big album that everyone knows. I need to listen to The Black Parade. So she's behind the camera right now. And she has agreed to let me review The Black Parade. My Black Parade? Which is it? The Black Parade. A Black Parade. And as part of the deal, she is going to try to do some kind of makeup transformation of me to make me look more like a proper chemist. What do you call Hey, what do you call fans of My Chemical Romance?
Not chemist.
Not chemists. Sinners?
No.
Fallouts?
No.
What do you call them?
No.
Skeleton Crew, whatever it is.
No. That's...
I have to look like a real My Chemical Romance fan. Now here's the problem. I might hate this album. I might. It might be trash. Her older brother insists that they're trash, and then I push him a little bit further, and then he's like, actually, they're okay. I think he really likes them in secret, but don't tell anybody. So I'm going to do this video. I'm going to go song by song, and as I discuss each song, my face is going to be more and more made up. I hope, one second, I hope to look like this guy right there, who's the lead singer dude. That's my goal. I'm going to be transformed into him. Gerard Way, right? That's his name?
Yep.
Yes. And we're the same age, Gerard Way and I. So at least he's got that going for him. Okay, so let's listen to the first track, or maybe the first two tracks of side one. We will listen to the first track, The End? That's the first track is called The End, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's confusing. I'll be back. Okay, I moved the camera around a little bit, and as you can tell, my daughter put my hair up for my makeup application. She's quite pleased with herself. So she's gonna actually start. You can start anytime you want. You can start putting on. I don't know what she's going to do with makeup. I'm just gonna let her do whatever the heck she wants. And if I don't look exactly like Gerard Way, I think it'll be okay.
I don't even know what I'm doing.
Okay, she doesn't know what she's doing. Okay, so the first couple tracks. So again, this is what does My Chemical Romance sound like to somebody who knows rock and roll, who loves rock and roll, and hears it. And I tried to listen to it as much as I could with no bias whatsoever. So it starts off with a track called The End, which obviously is a bold start, you know, and they're kind of saying something. It begins with a hospital beep. And just from these first two songs, it seems like this is a pretty thematically linked track, album, in which most of the songs appear to be...
Stop moving your eyebrows.
Okay, sorry, I can't help it. I'm very expressive. For the most part, all of the tracks, all of the lyrics seem to be about death and being ready to die and questions like that. I'm going to actually give my daughter the homework of listening to the album Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. This very much reminds me...
You keep moving your eyebrows.
Okay, sorry. How do I stop? I need like Botox or something. The opening reminds me of Ziggy Stardust, speaking to people who like to wear makeup. And the whole thing had a very Bowie feel to it. By that I mean...
Stop moving!
I'm trying not to move. You know how hard it is not to move?
Eyebrows are really easy not to move.
Okay. So it really reminded me of 5 Years in the way that it has like the drums are nice. It's not quite the same drum thing, but the anthemic feel, like starting off an album with kind of a bummer of a song that is about the end, which is very much what this is. There's a lot of good dynamics. You know, they're not too extreme. It's not just like quiet and then very loud. The guy's voice is definitely very annoying. Don't poke my eyes out. The guy's voice is definitely very annoying.
You'll get used to it.
Yeah,
it's really good.
I can already tell that I can get used to it.
Really good.
Just try not to hit the tripod every time you move around it. Okay. And maybe it's too anthemic, right? Like maybe it's a little bit cheap, just how driving the guitars are. It appears to be really trying to hit this parade feeling, this sort of grand feeling. But what's nice is it led directly into the second song, to the point where I couldn't even differentiate them. And the second track is called Dead. So thematically, they're right on key here. They're singing about death and about dying. And in this song, they talk about being on a hospital bed. But what's great, though, is that it starts right off with this like guitar solo. And there's another great guitar solo later on in the album. And so...
How do you know that?
Because I just listened to it. I mean, later on in the track. Sorry. Right away, if people talk about the death of rock and roll, that may be that rock and roll is dead, but it's not My Chemical Romance's fault. At least not based on these two songs. Because this is just very good, solid rock and roll with really good... I mean, there's even like a Chuck Berry guitar riff in here. Kind of stuff. So the one thing I'd say too is that there's a lot of like doubled voices, but they're used sparingly so far. So this guy's annoying voice comes on, and then it's doubled, but it's not all the time. So it's quite nice. and I find myself wanting to learn more. I like the thematics. I like the idea of a hospital bed and this kind of weird, like, hey, everyone, come and die. So I find myself interested in what seems to be probably a kind of theme album.
Failing.
Okay, now this track ends with a sort of la 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 at the end, which is sort of a pop trope.
It's beautiful.
But it's also a little bit jammy as well, like a jam band. So we'll kind of see where that goes. So that's my initial take of the first two tracks. We're now going to listen to the next two, and we'll see more transformation. We're going to listen.
So bad. I
Yeah.
love it.
We're going to listen to the song "This Is How I Disappear" and "The Sharpest." Okay, so I've just listened to "This Is How I Disappear" and "The Sharpest Lives." It turns out it's not "The Sharpest," it's "The Sharpest Lives." And I hate to tell you, you have to. What do you call a Chemical Romance fan? What are they called? Killjoys. I hate to tell you, Killjoys, but this album took a downturn on these two tracks. So I was totally on board. I'm like, this might be one of the all-time classics of all time. And then the song "How to Disappear" or "This Is How I Disappear" came on. Now there are things that I liked about this track. I love the drumming at the beginning. I know a lot about the band, even though I've never listened to them. So
How do you?
because I ask you all these questions, and apparently they've had like 5 different drummers. But this drumming is excellent. I really appreciate that they're still very guitar-led. I think I was half expecting this to be mostly synthesizer and kind of like weird pop, and it wasn't at all. But the vocals here are so different than the other vocals. I found myself missing the other annoying vocals as opposed to these, because these seem quite different. And I realized with the bridge what my problem is that it's a little bit too like Muse. It sounds a little too Muse-ish. The sound, like the running guitars, and then there was a nice metal break, like a break that sounded kind of like, hardcore heavy metal. She's working on the under eye here. I don't even know what you call that.
It's like a black eye, but not because it looks kind of bad.
It's all right. You'll be able. This is a long album, by the
It
way.
looks so beautiful.
Now, stylistically, I'm kind of wondering where this album is going, because this is a real break, right? I mean, this like heavy metal part here in the middle, it doesn't feel like the rest. So I would say I'm starting to get a sense of some stylistic incoherence. Fortunately, "The Sharpest Lives" I thought was a little bit step up. It begins with this kind of weird electronic sound. But then it feels like the first two songs were like, okay, this is going to be a theme album, and I was all ready for understanding it as being, what the theme is going to be. And this is like, is this about heroin? I don't know, "A Shot to Remember." It feels to me like it's about heroin, or
It's about
like alcohol shots.
No.
No? Like
I don't know,
being
like
shot?
gunshots?
Maybe, I don't know. It has kind of like a weird sort of undergroundy sex and drugs feel. Too long. The song's too long, and I don't know. Throwing in talk about vampires. Now the instrumental bit is great, and this is
Dad?
yes.
Don't diss vampires.
I'm not dissing vampires.
No, it's like their thing, I guess.
Okay.
Like the first album, this one. This
Yeah.
one is like all about vampires.
This one's all about vampires.
Kind of, not really. Like.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I know.
If we get 300 million views on this video,
We're not going to.
I'll review that one. I know we're going. I've never gotten more than 1,000, Zola.
You've gotten 1,000?
Yep, 4 times. Okay.
4 times.
Yes. So all you Killjoys, make this our most popular video. It just looks like I got punched in the face. Is this really how you do makeup?
I told you I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay, so the instrumental bit is quite good. It just reminds you that they're a real band. And the thing that I really look for in rock and roll is feeling like it's a real band, where the people who play together, it matters. It couldn't just be some studio musician. And that's the sense I get. 2 of the members are related, right? The lead singer and the bass player?
Yes.
All right, I did my homework at least.
And it looks even more like you got punched.
No, this looks better. This looks better. Okay, so I'm gonna listen to the next 2 tracks and then come back with even more makeup explosion. So
It's gonna look even worse.
the next 2 tracks are "Welcome to the Black Parade." I know that one, and
Yeah, you weren't supposed to know that one.
and "I Don't Love You."
Like I did yesterday.
Is that the full track? Oh no.
No.
Okay, I thought I got it wrong again. Okay, so Mrs. Professor Skye came in to help my daughter with some makeup advice. This is not turning out so great, but it's
not.
okay. We're gonna fix it here as I talk about these next 2 songs.
Yep.
So, "Welcome to the Black Parade." I was already familiar with this song, so maybe that's why I like it so much. But this is just a great song. this is basically a perfect song. I can understand why this band is so popular. I can understand why it appeals to people so much. It's epic in a way that is just, I don't know, it's like reassuring. Like it gets you pumped up, but at the same time, like it gets you pumped up not in the way that you want to go out and kill somebody. It like gets you pumped up in the way that you want to just go out and do something, you know? I like that how much dynamics this has, how it starts with the piano, and then just these great lyrics, which I know a little bit. The reason that I know the song is I've been teaching my daughter how to play it on bass, so I had to know what it went. And this is the best lyrics so far. It's very touching, you know, it's all about like a father talking to a son about what are they going to do when he's lost. And I imagine that a lot of what makes this music so important to people is it's so much of it seems to be about loss, but so much of it is kind of like uplifting, right? And I've been thinking a lot about it, you know, because as my daughter got into this stuff and, you know, started wearing all black and wearing chokers and stuff, you know, I did the traditional parent thing of kind of being worried. But when you listen to a song like this, you know, what's the main theme of this song? We will carry on. That's the main thing that they're saying. And the whole thing seems to be about acceptance. And I remember going to the Panic at the Disco show, and it's like everybody there loved each other, and they were friendly, and it was like this great communal environment. And I'll be still. And I realized, you know, that if you think about top 40, you know, top 40 pop music is a poison pill, right? It comes across as being all safe and innocent, but really the themes are just consumerism and sex and drugs and consumerism and exclusion and material goods. This is the opposite of a poison pill. It's an unpoison. It's a pill that says poison on the outside, but on the inside is like, I don't know, vitamin C or right? Because actually it looks like it's supposed to be all dark and bad, but really the themes are very positive. And if your kid comes home and says they're listening to My Chemical Romance, that's probably a good sign that your kid's going to be all right, based on this song. We'll see what the rest of the album is.
Okay.
The song maybe goes a little too far in the dynamics, like too much of like just the hard rocky part. But still, it actually reminds me a little bit of the bad Kiss song, God Gave Rock and Roll to Us. But I don't know. It's a wonderful melody, wonderful chords, great track. I also like the marching band outro. I mean, it's worth commenting that the thematics of the record are so solid. The t-shirts that my daughter's worn and this poster and this whole image of, this is looking better. Yeah. Now we're getting there, right?
No, but it's better than ow.
Okay, so I like the marching band theme and the skeleton theme. It all goes quite well with this marching band. Leading into, I see. This is what she's trying to do. She's looking at this picture. Am I there yet?
Nope.
I'm gonna make a face like him. Okay, and she said that I wouldn't like this song. I don't love you. Yeah, but actually I do. And the real question about this song is Gerard Way going too far with his vocals? Like the last word is like, I don't love you like I did yesterday. Like he like changes his notes like 4 times. He modulates like, how would you say it goes? Like yesterday, right?
No.
Okay. Well,
that's just you.
But by the second time it came around, I actually ended up liking it. So again, this voice is very distinctive and maybe annoying, but if it's distinctive and annoying, well, that's better than being bland and uninteresting. The chorus is a little bit cheesy. The whole thing, you know, we're the same age, and I think that we definitely grew up in the same time of rock and roll, because this feels very 90s. It feels kind of like the Pixies. It feels a little bit like some of the kind of pop punk that was coming out then.
Mascara?
I don't want to do anything on my own.
Okay, just some people want to do their own mascara.
Yeah, I don't want to do.
Okay. You need to look up, look here. He needs mascara.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll look up here.
No, why is this eye closed?
So in a way.
That's the eye I'm trying to put it on. You have to open up your eye,
okay.
And it feels really weird.
So it's kind of a cheesy chorus on the I Don't Love You, but eventually I ended up liking it. More good guitar work, a really great drum beat on here, and I get the sense that this is sort of one of the tracks that now that I get to listen to this album, when I listen to it repeatedly, I think this might end up being one of my favorite tracks. I mean, right now, obviously, Welcome to Black Parade is my favorite, but I imagine that's sort of the entry-level introduction to what makes them great. Okay, so now I'm going to listen to the next 2 tracks. When I come back, she'll be working on the other eye. The last 2 tracks of side A are House of Wolves.
And this one's good.
And Cancer. Ooh.
Oh, that you're gonna cry during that one.
I might cry. Okay, well, let's go. Okay, so Mrs. Professor Skye came in and touched up a little bit, so it looks a little better. But my daughter's gonna work on the other side.
That was me.
And I'm gonna be reviewing the next 2 tracks on the album.
Wait, you should tell them what that is.
Oh, this is some kind of DVD or something.
It's all
It's like video outtakes. I don't know. Have you watched this, Killjoys? Is it good? Leave a comment. Don't. I don't care. All right. So you can get going on this side if you want. I'm going to start talking about the song House of Wolves. Now, this is weird because, as I just mentioned, I have been given permission to listen to some Panic at the Disco songs. And this reminds me so much of Crazy Equals Genius, the same kind of weird 40s jazz.
This was first.
Of course, this was first. Doom, to doom, to doom, doom. So that kind of 40s beat, it's odd that it's part of this whole rock and roll emo style thing. Is this song about church sex scandals? I don't know.
What?
Well, it seems, you know how there's a lot of priests who sexually abuse kids?
Yeah.
Is that what the song's about?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay. Well, anyways, that's the sense I get, that when they say I've got innocence for days, it seems ironic. One thing that is interesting is his vocal styles on this reminds me of Rob Zombie from the band White Zombie. So I don't know if Gerard Way was like I was watching Beavis and Butthead as a kid, and then White Zombie came up and he became a fan. But that's actually what his
Can you open your eyes and look up?
This is very difficult. Okay, remember to be gentle. Remember what Mrs. Professor Payne said. Okay. So one thing that I thought was nice about this too was the layering on the singing, on the whole song. Lots of different elements happening. In particular, I thought it was funny. There's a guitar that used a wah-wah, and you just don't hear a lot of wah-wahs these days. So that was in the solo. Yeah.
Yep. Cool.
I think you're getting it better this time. So then that leads to the song Cancer. And I want to talk about something that I'm not some kind of genius for noticing. There have been a couple movies in the last year that really seem to be about the theme of young, terminally ill people being in love. What was that one? Fault in Our Stars, maybe? I only see the trailers.
Fault in Our Stars?
And then I just decided that I'm not going to see the movie. But this seems to be maybe patient zero of this trend. Because it's like a love song that seems to be about somebody who has terminal cancer. And on the one hand, I find that kind of despicable because a lot of people suffer from cancer and a lot of people suffer, my mom, her grandmother went through ovarian cancer and I remember what that was like. She recovered, which is great. But I remember the feelings that I had. And I tried to think if this song was in my head before I had to go to the cancer ward and visit her, would I be angry or happy? Would I feel this song was exploitative, or would I feel that it's actually giving something?
It looks so bad.
No, it looks okay. We'll fix it up if we need to.
Hey!
And in the end, I think that it's a good thing. It is partially exploitative because it's using the gravitas of the situation to just do a shorthand for oh, this is meaningful. But at the same time, who actually sings about chemotherapy? I mean, how many thousands of people are either in chemotherapy or love somebody who's in chemotherapy? So to have someone sing a line like that I'm soggy from the chemo, let's give them the benefit of the doubt and say that they're actually adding something. And that instead of exploiting people who have gone through this situation, I think maybe they're helping them because we shouldn't be ashamed. We shouldn't hide the fact that people get cancer or the fact that people get treated for cancer. So I like that. The whole song, not my favorite. It's piano-led, very kind of Beatles-esque, at least attempting to be Beatles-esque. It feels a little too much like it's trying to be important.
Oh boy, this is taking a very weird turn.
Okay. Oh, whatever that was, that hurt. Oh yeah, by the way, the reason that we're doing this video at all is because Mrs. Professor Skye got me this light ring a year ago, and I said I feel like I'm in one of those tutorials for makeup, and my daughter goes, "Dad, I want to do makeup." So anyways, that's why we're doing it.
I can't really do makeup well.
Yeah, it's okay.
So I shouldn't really know how to do makeup.
I would rather you not know how to do makeup than know how to do makeup really well. I think that's a sign of doing some good parenting there. Because makeup is not helping human beings. All right.
Except for whenever you're doing it on your dad.
Unless you're becoming a killjoy like I am.
Nope.
Will I be a killjoy at the end of this?
No! No! Just stop! Open your eyes.
I'm going to call myself a killjoy at the end of this
No,
video.
you are not.
I am undergoing the transformation.
No,
All right.
no.
Put in the comments if I should be officially
Say
a
no.
killjoy.
No, you.
All right. So I'm now going to listen to the next tracks. Mama and Sleep Disenchanted. Oh wait, those are different songs.
Those are different songs.
Oh, you can see how I made that mistake. It looks like it says Mama and Sleep Disenchanted. All right, so I'm listening to the song Mama and Sleep. All right, we'll see how it is.
Hey.
Oh yeah, I look like Natasha Kinski in The Cat People.
How is...
An obscure reference for all you folks. All right, okay, another little touch up on the eyes. I look like a cool raccoon. So you know, the main thing I would say about leading into these next two tracks, she's going to be putting on some accentuated cheekbones.
Yeah.
So the one thing I would say is that track Cancer was really necessary because the one problem I sort of have with this album is by the time I was done with these two songs, I was a little bit tired of the whole...
Hey, can you kind of go like...
Actually, go like what?
Like...
Well, I can't talk and do that.
Oh, never mind.
All right, 1 second. Okay, I'll do it for 1 second. You ready? 3, 2, 1.
Okay, we good.
Okay. So definitely by the end of these two tracks, I was a little bit tired of the droning guitar and all the playing and all the kind of screaming. So that track, Cancer, was quite necessary to break it up. That said, I think Mama is my second favorite track that we've heard so far. It has kind of this cool oompa beat. Towards the end, it almost sounds like it's an old world, kind of fiddle music. Reminds me a lot of some of the stuff that The Doors was doing in terms of kind of playing around with old style music like that. It seems to be sort of like a letter penned from someone to his mother. It seems as though it's a song about war, maybe, like a soldier who's writing back. And it really goes back to this whole theme that we're all going to die, and we're all going to die, and G. Willikers, we're all going to die. Which I'm a French professor.
G. Willikers?
Yes. I'm a French professor. So the more my daughter is aware of mortality, the better. Because existentialism is the main path towards humanism.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It is. That's looking good. I mean, it doesn't look like I have, sideburns. Oh, okay. So I very much like that. The first time he says the word die, though, we're all going to die, he does that overpronounced thing again. He's like, we're all going to die. Which,
I did kind of notice it.
Yeah.
I've never noticed it until now.
Right. Well, it's because your dad's listening. He listens super carefully. But I really enjoyed this a lot. It's a good opening to the second. I imagine most of you listen to it on streaming. I think you should get the album.
Okay, can you go
Okay, 1 second. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, okay. This is, okay, you're done. It's okay.
Okay.
You don't.
My face isn't meant to do that.
I'm still working on it.
Okay.
You look like Elvis. What?
I'm just going to move this like that so that you stay out of the frame.
Good.
Because you are a mysterious person who does not exist.
Very mysterious.
Very, very mysterious.
Dad, move your head up.
Sorry. So one thing too this album does quite a bit of is kind of repeating the melody and repeating the chord progressions, but just with different versions, just like harder, softer versions of the same thing. But this track goes a lot of different places. Maybe that's what I like the most. And she can tell me, or if you're a killjoy, you can tell me in the comments. The songs like this that start one place and end somewhere else, I really like that because it's not just enough to be epic, to be like moving. Like it also should be, should really go somewhere. So I'm looking at myself. I'm looking too much at myself in the camera, not enough at the camera, but I can't help it.
You look like
It's
Elvis.
Beautiful. I do. I love, there's this chant that happens in the middle of it where it's just ma, ma, like a baby. And it's very effective and unsettling. And I really like that. And then it leads in to Liza Minnelli, the least expected guest singer. Are you going to sit back there or should I just finish up here? Okay.
I'm going to go do something else quickly. I just need to wipe off because I have lipstick all over my fingers.
Okay, so Liza Minnelli was very unexpected, but that kind of gives into this kind of old-timey feel that we have. And I was getting all excited to tell my daughter, like, do you know?
I already knew that.
Yeah, and then not only is that Liza Minnelli, but Liza Minnelli is also...
Lucille, too.
Yes, she's Lucille, too. We're not ready for Lips yet.
Yep, we are.
No, we're not ready for Lips
We're
yet.
not.
No, we got 2 more songs before Lips.
No, 2 more?
Yeah, it's very exciting.
I want to do Lips.
I know, we all want to do the Lips. But did you know, so the song's called Mama. Did you know who Liza Minnelli's mama is?
Person?
Judy Garland.
What?
That's right. So, Dad knows a little bit of trivia. Yes. So not only was she Lucille too on Arrested Development, but she's also Dorothy's daughter. So yeah, I really like that track, and I like Sleep as well. I was really nervous with those How I Disappear and Sharpest Lives that I wasn't really gonna like this album at all, but I liked it quite a bit. One thing that I really liked too is, I was sitting there and I was listening to the songs, I was looking at all this art. And I realized that part of the strength of this album, I bet, is just the richness of this imagery and how I can sort of place together what some of these, that this must be the cancer kid and maybe this is the person from Mama. And already, I love when album art is meaningful and when it's not all explained, right? Like, this isn't all clear what this album is all about, at least not to me. But this leaves it ambiguous, and I really like that. I like that mystery. I like that depth. I like the story behind it. Part of me feels like this whole album could just be a musical. And I hate to tell you, Killjoys, but this will be a musical in your lifetime. Yes, it's going to happen. It's inevitable.
Why? No.
Just because when you're old enough to have enough money to go to Broadway shows, you're going to be like, oh, they finally made a musical.
Is it going to be like a rock opera?
I don't know. So anyways, Sleep is quite strong. This is the point where I realized I like their style, although I also realized I was getting sick of it. But some really good guitar, and in particular at the end. At the end, there's this sort of guitar instance that comes up, this really strong line that comes up, and it's probably the best guitar work on the whole album. I always talk about, not My Chemical Romance, but My Bloody Valentine, how they would often be able to use guitars where just in one little part of a song, a guitar line comes in, and that becomes like the thing that gets stuck in your head. I think this guitar line that's here at the end of Sleep.
That kind of thing?
Yeah, exactly that kind of thing. And that's just great production, that's great songwriting, that's interesting work. So we have 3 tracks left. Apparently there's some hidden track, but we don't get that on the vinyl. So we're going to listen to Teenagers and Disenchanted before we finish up with Famous Last Words. So yes, next time you see me, there'll be lipstick involved. Okay, so Teenagers. Is this like justification for school shooters? I don't know.
No, I know the story behind it.
Okay, what's the story behind
So
it?
he was at a train station.
Okay.
And he saw a bunch of teenagers just kind of wreaking havoc.
Okay.
Like that, and he's like, "Dang, I'm old.
Okay.
These people scare me.
Okay.
I feel like they're about to hurt me. I don't know."
Yeah, that's true. There is a point in your life where teenagers start to scare you. So that seems to make sense. I really like this and appreciate this track because, again, it breaks up a little bit of the monotony that was going on a little bit with the song before. It actually kind of reminds me.
You're gonna need to keep. Oh my god, this is getting so.
Why does this taste like something?
Why are you tasting it?
I never had lipstick on before. Okay, so teenagers is what. You're to talk. It's the only way she can get me to stop talking. Okay, all right.
I'm just gonna rub this all over.
No, don't. Okay, all right, good. This is great. I look just like him now. So it actually kind of reminds me of Poison, or sort of like a hair metal band almost, like the way that it's played. Like it's a little bit, reminds me a little bit of Mama too, in the way where stylistically it's different. It almost feels like it's a parody of something else. But still, I like it, and I like that theme. Now that she explains to me what the theme of the song is, I think that's great, because, we're the same age. So 2006, that's when teenagers were starting to scare me as well. The song Disenchanted is the first song where I heard it, and towards the end I was like, is this going to end soon? It's a little bit long. It's nice how it starts with an acoustic guitar. I like that. I like the dynamics in general on it. And I think it's a strong song, but I feel that maybe my tolerance for this style of music is not an hour long. It might be 40 minutes long.
I guess you could say it's just a sad song. Nothing to say.
I suppose that's...
Get it? Because...
Is that what they say in the album?
That's what they say in the lyric.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I also, like, in between takes here, like my wife is coming over and fixing up any mistakes. I'm just like, it's hard. How do y'all put on makeup all the time?
I don't know.
It is not easy. Like, poking my eyes and... Anyways. I really like the bridge as well on Disenchanted. And the ending was fine, but I think also I'm getting really ready for the last song. So the last song, we're just going to finish it up. I'm going to put the finishing touches. I'm going to try to get my hair to go down like his.
Can we also listen to Blood?
Nope, we're just going to listen to this one last track.
Oh, you hate Blood. I forgot.
Yeah, I'm a little squeamish. And then we're going to listen to the last song right now, and then I'll give you my final thoughts on My Chemical Romance, on the Black Parade, and on being the world's #1 killjoy, which I am now.
Oh boy.
Okay. All right. So my transformation is complete. I'm officially a killjoy.
No, you're not.
Well, I'm officially someone who's listened to a My Chemical Romance album. The last track is sort of a... Sorry, it's hard to have my hair down. It's very much like a summary of everything that's happened on the album. It's very consistent with the rest of the feeling. It's epic, it's moving, it's guitar-driven, good lyrics, nice dynamics. Sometimes it cuts out and you just get a guitar. It's all very hopeful. It's this great hopeful thing about how we're all going to die, but maybe we should all be together, which is basically the thematics of all existentialism. My daughter wanted me to put this plant on there, so there you go. So there's my review.
Nice plant.
It is a nice plant. I don't think this is going to be my new look. I am proud of my daughter. I think she really pulled it off. I happen to have this jacket for reasons that are my own. Oh yeah, and also I got the armband on there. The My Chemical Romance armband.
Which is mine.
Which is hers. So there you go. I'm glad that I like this music. I look forward to listening to it more with her. I don't know when I'm going to get a chance to listen to the other albums.
Never.
And I hope that they play within 500 miles of Rochester, New York. So if you're out there, the band, how about you stop putting out weird hieroglyphs that make my daughter skip dinner and just try and figure out, does a firecracker mean USA?
No, I figured it out.
What does it mean?
Okay, so it's I forgot what kind of form a letter is, but it's a form of lettering in Wicca, which translates to June 10th.
June 10th. Okay. Exciting. All right. Well, then until next time, where I will not have makeup, where I will not be a killjoy, I will be a normal French professor
You're not
review.
a killjoy, no.
Until that next time, for Gerard Way and his brother Mikey Way, and guitar player Frankie Iero.
Frank.
And
no, rhythm guitar, and then...
lead guitar, Tommy Iommi.
No!
No.
How dare you?
Geezer Butler.
No!
No. Frank Stampadero.
No!
No, it doesn't matter.
Ray Torah. He matters.
Ray Torah.
He matters a lot to
And then
bands.
whoever their drummer might be. All right. Till then, there's the camera.